So, about a year after starting my YouTube channel, I made the decision that there would be times where I would pierce the veil. I would move from just making lore videos and talk to you guys, my audience, some of you would consider yourselves my fans, directly. I do this especially in situations where I think there's something that you guys need to know, or where there's a topic that you guys would really care about. Today, I'm also doing it because something really bad happened affecting a close friend of mine, and we're gonna need to come together most likely as a community and make some noise if we want any chance of solving it. So I'm very good friends with another YouTuber named KevinKoolx. If you guys aren't subscribed to his channel, I'll link it down below. You should be subscribed, but if you've never visited his channel and you click the little link, you might be wondering, why is Ek trying to encourage us to subscribe to this dude with no videos and just a crypto stream? Well, Kevin had my worst fear happen to him. He was basically just going about his day. His cell phone was remotely wiped, and when he checked on his YouTube channel, all of his videos were gone. He could no longer gain access, and now, as you see, the channel name and logo has been changed, representing some crypto scam. And this is years and years of work just potentially gone down the drain. If you guys know Kevin, you'll know that he's been grinding on YouTube for, I believe, the better part of a decade. Lots of really quality Halo videos are just no longer there. Now, my hope is, and it appears this way, my fingers are really crossed that it's this way, is that whoever hacked his channel didn't delete all the content, rather they just privated it. But as we'll get to in a bit, YouTube's response and the way they help creators in this situation is, to put it mildly, woefully inadequate. So what happened here? Well, Kevin is really just another individual in a long line of YouTubers and creators who have had this happen to them. It's not the days anymore where account hacking was primarily accomplished through obviously shady emails or even account phishing. Rather, there seems to be some new techniques people are using, perhaps guessing passwords related to associated accounts or whatever else, that allow people into YouTube channels. When trying to figure out what I could do to help Kevin today, I also came across the account Nathaniel Bandy. I hadn't heard of him before, but he's a YouTube video game creator. He makes some cool looking videos, hundreds of thousands of views per upload, and he not only had his main account stolen, but also several associated accounts. And when I say that this is scary, this is really, really scary. When you get to the size that I am, or the size that Nathaniel is, we're talking, this is his livelihood. He may even have employees, and it's essentially all gone in the blink of an eye. I'm not exaggerating when I say that there's literally the potential to lose millions of dollars in future revenue if this happens. Thankfully for Nathaniel, he had a YouTube rep who he was in contact with. They were able to sort of guide him through the process, get him some direct help, which not only actually got the situation resolved, but also made it so he wasn't dying with anxiety as it was being resolved. Though, as he also describes, still, even with that direct contact to YouTube, this is definitely not something that can be fixed immediately, and Nathaniel was even left wondering what would happen for several days. As I mentioned, thankfully his channels were recovered. Everything seems to be basically as it was, except of course he lost tens of thousands of subscribers who see a crypto spam stream show up on their home screen and obviously click away. But for Kevin, although he has a pretty sizable channel, especially compared to the average YouTuber, he doesn't have a YouTube partner manager or any actual direct contact within YouTube itself. Kevin's not on the same scale as that other YouTuber I just mentioned, but his account is still worth a lot, not only emotionally, but also monetarily, which is why it's targeted by hackers like this. I'm going to read a statement from Kevin in just a second, but as you'll see, YouTube makes it very difficult for an individual without direct contact to YouTube to actually make it through their processes, which is why I personally think it's important that we make sure that we're loud enough when it comes to these issues, such that YouTube will actually hear and will hopefully look into things, because this needs to be fixed. As I said, I'm really hoping that these videos can be recovered, but I mean, we also saw that EC Henry, when his videos were fixed after he had a hacking incident previously, a lot of his past uploads got messed up. Kevin's channel is also obviously having a live stream right now, which is being view botted, which could be bad for overall channel health. But anyway, here's his statement, and I'm going to cut some parts out that I don't think you guys need to know. I'm going to forward the entire thing to YouTube. So Kevin explains that recently his Google account was stolen and that they took over his channel, clearing out all of the content of 1,000 plus videos, denying him access to his email, the associated email accounts, changing his passwords, clearing the recovery codes, and even changing the recovery phone number. And Kevin says that he even had two-step authentication enabled, which is also something that I've heard across the board from people who've experienced hacking like this. They were actually still able, even with those protections, to access his account and even factory reset his phone. He's tried to go through Google support, but they require the login account that was stolen in order to begin the recovery process, which is obviously impossible. I'll explain this. Basically, to initiate the recovery process through Google, you need to use the account that was hacked, which I think you guys can probably see why that's difficult. Kevin doesn't have access to that account right now. They do have the option for you to use a different email. Kevin tried to do that, but they responded with try the password recovery options, which, well, he obviously did. The channel is obviously Kevin's. He uses his face. Like, there's no question here. And of course, he's willing to provide any form of identification needed to prove who he is and that the account in question is his. There's more there. Some of it's personal information that I'm not going to share on the channel, but I forwarded this to my contact at YouTube. The problem for me is my partner manager moved on. I was supposed to be assigned a new one like a year ago. I never got one. So my connection to YouTube is sort of tenuous. So I'm going to email as many people as I can. I think that you guys should go on Twitter, follow Kevin's Twitter account, retweet the tweet that he made tagging Team YouTube. Hopefully, the more attention this gets, the more likely it is that, well, we can fix it. In the meantime, of course, if you're a subscriber to Kevin, don't click on the live stream. You're not going to lose your account or anything if you do, but you're just encouraging this sort of behavior by showing the people that someone's clicking. Obviously, don't send them Ethereum. You won't get double back. You'll get nothing. And yeah, I really hope we can get this done. I haven't told this to Kevin yet, but I'm also going to give him all the money earned from today's video. I mean, it's only fair. For one, who knows when he'll get his account back? I think he probably will eventually, but the stress the dude must be going through with an income source and years of work sort of in limbo, well, I can't even imagine. There's also the questions of how is this happening and what can YouTube do better? It's really hard to say. As I mentioned, Kevin has a lot of experience working with computers. He's a very intelligent guy. The chances of him being phished, even with clever emails, is very, very low. And everyone that I've heard of who's losing their account is not having it phished out from under them, rather they're being targeted specifically. There are lots of data dumps nowadays where emails and passwords are released. It's possible that people are getting in through old connected accounts. I don't know what YouTube can do better on an account protection side or on a password side. Maybe nothing. Maybe there is some changes that they can make. I don't know. I'm not a cybersecurity expert, but they do need to find a way to dedicate people to help these creators when these obvious scams especially are being made. Like, if a channel completely changes its character, goes from, 1,000 videos to none, it immediately starts live streaming something with crypto in the title, it's not legit, and there should be a way that Google can recognize that. But guys, that's all for today. As I mentioned, go support Kevin. I'll link to his YouTube channel and his Twitter down below. Until next time, be safe, have a good one, share this goddamn video, and may the force be with you.